Woohoo! What's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larsen. You're listening to Sales Funnel Radio.
Welcome to Sales Funnel Radio, where you'll learn marketing strategies to grow your online business using today's best internet sales funnels. And now, here's your host, Steve Larsen.
Hey guys, I hope you're doing great. It is a very rainy day outside right now. It's been freezing. Holy crap. Hey, we just barely had our viral video launch at ClickFunnels, which has been a ton of fun. Really enjoyed that. We had as marketers, you always try to make events out of everything, right? You sit back and you're like, hey, we got this cool video coming out. How can we make an event out of that? Well, we could just put it on YouTube and publish it. It's like, ugh, that's not very exciting. What if we had this cool event where we had people show up and we all have a big launch party together? Cool. You know what? What if we had Gary Vee show up? Oh my gosh, Gary Vaynerchuk. Let's have him show up and he'll talk to us a little bit more about social media and virality. Cool. Awesome. Let's do that. You know what would be awesome? What if we had the actual people, the Harmon brothers, who made the launch, the actual video itself? Let's have them come teach more about the formula they use to make videos go viral. We're like, cool, awesome. And it's fun, guys, ideas evolve like this over and over and over again. And it's so fun that they're so fluid and they're all over the place. There's no idea that's, there's definitely such thing as a stupid idea. But but then it continued to evolve and grow and we're like, oh my gosh, what if we had the top YouTubers out there, since they got huge reach on video, and obviously it's a video, what if we had them? Oh my gosh, let's have them come to the party and we'll have them, we'll literally teach them how to share our video with their audience of millions and millions and millions. And they're like, well, it's Idaho, it's Boise, and I don't know. So we're like, well, we gotta have some cool thing. What we can do, how can we make them look like rock stars for coming to Boise, Idaho? And Dave Woodward, who's the man, was like, hey, oh my gosh, what if we broke a world record? We're there. Let's rent out the Boise State Stadium. We'll hold the event in like the top, box suite area. I don't know what to call that area. And then we'll go down on the football field afterwards and we'll play bubble soccer. And then he's like, oh my gosh, I'll be right back. And he came back in. It was so cool. Dave is amazing. I love watching him work his magic. And he's like, oh my gosh, what if we broke a world record on the stadium? And he's like, I'll be right back. That was one of the most exciting days I've ever had, ever. And he ran back in and he goes, I just talked to Guinness Book of World Records. They could totally come out. And we just got the stadium and we just got approval for this. And we're like, crap, we could actually pull this off. Dave's the man. And then all of a sudden he's like, how are we going to get all these people there? And then the game became, how do we get all these massive influencers to come out? But what's fun is guys, I remember when I was riding my bike home one day, and I've mentioned this story before, but I was riding my bike home one day, and I was this was years ago, right? And I had like almost no money. I mean, we were living on loans, and we were. I was trying to make this whole thing work. And what happened is I was riding home, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't. Why is this not working? How come I'm not making money? And I had the stark slap in the face realization, it's because you're not even asking anybody for their credit card anywhere. There's no place for people to give you money. And I was like, anyway, like that, crap, And I was like, dang it, that's totally the reason why. And a lot of people who listen to this show are very successful. And a lot of people who listen to this show have yet to launch something. But you're learning this problem set of information. You're learning this information to solve a problem set that you're not on yet. Russell can go out and he can spend lots of money, or he can spend lots of time getting people out to promote his thing because he has a thing. Does that make sense? That was my big realization when I was riding home that day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even have a thing. I'm learning, I know exactly what I would do to 2x this company. Crap, I don't have one myself yet. You know what I mean? That was my realization years ago when I was riding back home and it was freezing. I was, we didn't have money for a second car even. And I was like, you understand what I'm saying? I didn't have a thing. There was no business for me to be applying to these marketing principles to. And so it's fun to watch when you do have a thing, right? Right now, obviously, I have several things. I'm trying to keep it on the low count as far as how many things I have going on. Russell's obviously, he's got quite the amazing thing. ClickFunnels, right? Totally market disruptor, amazing software, right? And so once you have your actual core business created, it's super fun because the problem set changes. You're able to turn around and you're able to say, okay, now that I have a business, now that I actually have a product, what are all these fun marketing games I can apply things to actually become successful with this? Does that make sense? So we're at the viral video launch, right? And it goes amazing. We show up there, and I got asked to stand at the front and greet people and help them get their tags and all that kind of stuff. And I had a ton of fun doing it. We had about 400 people show up, and they're showing up, and it was so fun. These massive influencers are there. Got to meet and talk with and chat with Billie Jean. Billie Jean is marketing. JP Sears and a ton of people. A lot of fun. Really enjoyed the entire experience. The guy, this tells you how much I know politics, which is a little bit embarrassing. Maybe I should not even started saying this, but the guy running for governor showed up. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of big people there, and we gave them a reason to show up. Bubble soccer, right? Viral video launch. We needed to answer the question, how can we improve their status by showing up? Does that make sense? And it's not in like a negative light, like, oh, look at the status, or look at how high and mighty you are. Like, that's not at all what I'm talking about. But when you're doing these Dream 100 strategies, when you actually finally have a thing, when you have a business, when you have an idea, when you've got cash flow, the name of the game, especially when you're doing JV stuff, whether it's for your customers or for its people you're doing joint venture things with, the question you're there to answer is, how do I make those guys look like rock stars, right? How do I make them look like rock stars? And how do I increase their status through my brand? And when you can answer that question, it becomes a lot easier to say, hey, let's do something together. Because then it's not just about money and availability and like, hey, we'll split 50-50. Like, yeah, that's cool. I mean, that works. But like, when you can really answer the question, what can I do to make you look like a complete, genius to your own audience? What can I do to make you look like a rock star to your own audience? Increase your status in their eyes. Not that it's all about status or being high and mighty, but subconsciously, that's what's happening, right? And so we had to answer that question. And when we did, that's when all of this came together. Does that make sense? That we brought that up specifically. Like, how can we give these guys a story so that when they show up to little Boise, Idaho, with potatoes all over the place, which I've actually never seen a potato on the side of the road, but how can we make them look like a rock star? Or increase their status, or give them things that can protect their status at the same time. Totally asymmetric gain on their side. No status loss, total status gain. How do we make that happen, right? And that was the question we had to answer. So, anyways, we had the event, and Russell spoke for a while and showed how we got this amazing. If you guys haven't watched it, I think almost all of it is on YouTube. Gary Vee got up and he spoke, and it was awesome too. It was really, really cool, actually. And personally, I'll just tell you, like, I've never really listened to Gary Vee that much, but I'll probably start after hearing him. He definitely had some great stuff. Half of you guys are probably like, well, duh, it's Gary Vee. But, there's so much content out there. Sometimes it's more about content choosing, than taking in everything. But so then we went and we played bubble soccer down on the field. And it's a ton of fun, lots and lots of fun. I was in one, and those little bubble things, and we were just messing around before the game started. I didn't get a chance to actually do the actual world record part of it. There wasn't enough spots, so they asked the employees to pull out. But I was in one though before the game started, and I went and hit a guy. They were wearing these name tags that had these sharp metal edges on it, and it totally popped up and cut my forehead. And it was a lot of fun. Anyway, so there's really two different problem sets that the individual has to solve, right? If you don't even have a business yet, it's obviously going to be hard for you to pull off stuff like that. Right? If you don't have an actual business, if there's no product or service that you've put out to the market, if you're not actively asking for people's credit cards or money or what, it's going to be really challenging for you to go create or do a Dream 100 strategy. And it's always shocking to myself, to Russell, to anyone in the actual ClickFunnels staff. It's shocking how few people actually do Dream 100 stuff. Actually make a list of the top 100 people they wish they would be working with. I've got one. I actually send packages to them all the time. You know, I personally, on my own, non-ClickFunnels related stuff, I'm creating, getting the relationships. I'm sending out the packages, letters. I'm doing this, and it's fun how awesome those things work. That Dream 100 strategy, though, is insane. But I think one of the reasons why we see so few people do it is, number one, there's some confusion on how to do it. But then number two, some of the people who either listen to this podcast or who are still trying to figure things out, they're still trying to figure out the core of their business, so they've not actually started the Dream 100 strategy. Number one, I get that. Number two, don't wait to start the Dream 100 strategy. It's all about relationships. It's all about creating relationships. You can't dig the well when you're thirsty. You got to do it before you're thirsty. You know what I'm saying? So whoever those top people are, the top giants inside your industry, the people who are there to, who've been crushing it, man, start creating relationships with those guys. I can always tell when I'm on someone's Dream 100 strategy because they'll usually buy a product of mine just to say hi. They'll use it as they don't want to look like they're freeloading, or they'll send a package, or whatever it is, they'll start by leading with value. All right, that's what we had to lead with. Half the people we invited to this viral video launch, they've never really been on our list before, but they're on a list now, and we had to lead with value. Hey, come on out to this viral video launch, come out to this bubble soccer thing, come out to this, and we'll give you awesome content to shoot and film. We'll do this and this and that for you. And by the way, if you want to take like 15 seconds, we'll show you real quick how to share a video with your audience. You know what I mean? That's like after the fact. We didn't lead with that. That was second. And anyway, so there's always two different problem sets that pop up, right? And they alternate back and forth. And it's fun to watch both of these problem sets. They appear in every single launch that we do. It's always two different things. Number one, there's always a problem set that is always has to do with personal development or like a personal flaw. You know what I mean? There's always something that pops up like, oh my gosh, like I can't do this. I have a hard time doing X, Y, and Z. The second one that always pops up is a business development or business flaw, meaning your system or whatever it is you've built is not set up to handle where you're trying to go, or you're, as an individual, not set up for where you're trying to go. You know what I mean? If you can't get up at a decent hour, you're gonna suck at business. You know what I mean? Like, depending on what it is you choose to do, And so whatever vehicle, whatever business you've chosen to go be successful at, just know that those two things back and forth will alternate back and forth. And they pop up all the time. They popped up in the viral video launch. They pop up they're not uncommon. But it seems like some people get shocked and they're like, wait a second, I have to address my personal flaws in order to be successful in business? This is business, not a personal development conference. Guys, I've had more personal development through business than any other personal development course because I had to. I literally was unable to progress. My cash was actually unable to increase without me addressing personal character flaws. Hey, Steven, you're a little bit shy. And it's true. I had the nicest kid award growing up. Right? You're a little bit shy. You're having a hard time with talking to people, and internally, I wasn't shy though. I was like a ticked off kid who was mad at everybody. I just wasn't confident enough to say stuff. You know what I mean? And so I had to get over that. I had to overcome that quickly. And I remember how I did. One of the ways I overcame that is, you guys are gonna laugh about this, but I needed to train myself, and I knew that was I was too nice. My resting state was nice guy. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when it came to business, I was piss poor at making decisions. Does that make sense? And I have no problem admitting it. That's how it was. And so I would stand in front of the mirror knowing that one day I wanted to be on stages, knowing that one day I wanted to go and I wanted to be able to speak and I wanted to be able to add value that way. For whatever reason, I've always wanted to speak on stages, which is so cool because it happens all the time now. It's a lot of fun. I get to go to I'm speaking on stage as a keynote, and I'm super pumped in January. It's going to be awesome. I'll tell you more about that later. But how I got over that fear was I would go stand in front of the bathroom mirror. I would take videos of guys like Russell Brunson, and I would mute the video, and I would stand in front of the mirror watching guys like Russell or Russell himself, and I would mirror everything that they would do physically. And I'd move my hands the way they would, and I would move my body the way they would, and I'd get excited in my facial expressions the way they would. And it gave me ammo, so to speak, on how to deal with people on a one-to-one basis. And that's going to shock a lot of you guys. Be like, what the heck? Like, there's no way that's true. That's totally true. I got voted the nicest kid in my graduating class in high school, 600 people. It was not because I was the nicest kid. It's because I was freaking shy. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so number one, and again, it was super fun to see all these problem sets. They happen to every single thing we launch. We're no different. We just expect them to happen. Does that make sense? So number one, like I said, there's always a personal development or characteristic flaw episode that happens, like, hey, you're not good enough at this, or your weaknesses are this. And in order for you to progress, we need to either address that or solve it somehow. And then money can be made. Number two, there's always a business development / business character flaw, meaning your system may not be good enough to handle what it is you're trying to go do. The other day, was actually a few weeks ago, we crashed another company's server because we sent too much traffic to them, even though they said they could handle it. That's a freaking business flaw. You know what I mean? That's an actual business systems flaw, right? And that's the reason why funnels are so freaking cool. A lot of times when I go out and there's been many times where I build a funnel for somebody whose business cannot handle that funnel, that strong of a marketing arm, and I have been close to bankrupting them on how fast they've sold without being able to get more inventory as quick. You know what I mean? You guys understand what I'm saying? I get asked all the time to build funnels for people, but one of the biggest things I have to ask people is, number one, what traffic are you getting, and what traffic are you already getting right now? Number two, what's the back end of your company like? Because you may not be able to handle that, which is a funny problem set that most people never have to deal with. But that's the power of these funnels. Does that make sense? So we had to go out and we had to beef up ClickFunnels. There's a new onboarding system. We have this cookbook now. There's a system that vets out the different funnel types for you so that you can go get a pre-built funnel every time you build a new one in ClickFunnels now. There's now this gamified thing that pulls you through and trains you how to use all of ClickFunnels, get everything set up for you. Does that make sense? We knew that we had a flaw that way, so we went and we created a new system. We went and we created a brand new it was business development of a different style, not relationship wise, although that might be the problem, but it had more to do with us, had more to do with our systems and how we put things together. Does that make sense? Does that make sense what I'm trying to convey? And what was fun, just this whole viral video launch, it's fun to watch it from where I sit and the fact that I sit where I do, and fun to watch all the problems being addressed. There's always character flaws that pop up in every single one of us when the stress gets high, and myself included, everybody. It's interesting to watch, there's different breaking points, and that just happens. It's okay. It can be a stressful thing. And number two, there's always business flaws that pop up. Maybe your system, your actual business model isn't strong enough to handle what you're trying to do, or maybe it's too strong and you're selling to the wrong people. You know what I mean? Or it might be whatever, one or the other, whatever it might be. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful. As you start thinking about what it is you're trying to put out there and launch, or maybe it already is launched, what character flaw or personal development thing do you need to go through actually to get to the next level? Maybe you're not disciplined enough in a certain area. Maybe you're too disciplined in some area and you're actually leaving people out. Maybe. And then number two, what is wrong with the business that you're in right now? Where's the flaw? Where you got to look at this thing like it's an infant all the time. And that it's always broken, and that there's something that's messed up with it. You can't marry it. It's all about these iterations. How fast can you get feedback from the market, fix it, and go back? How fast can you get it from feedback from the market, fix it, and go back over and over and over? And your money loves speed, and your ability to make those iterations is highly dependent on you understanding what the flaw is, and the money follows pretty quickly after that, when you figure out what your business really does and how to sell stuff and where those flaws are. Anyways, it's always funny. I always watch it every time now. I mean, I've been here for a year and a half. I've built almost 300 sales funnels now, and in pretty much every single industry. I mean, I don't know an industry that I haven't built in now, or a funnel that wouldn't work in every one of them. So every time, these are always the thing that happens. It doesn't matter if the person is a celebrity that we're working with and they're already successful. There's always a personal development flaw, whether it's an understanding flaw, meaning they don't understand as an individual what the heck we're doing, or a business flaw. So if you're trying to get to the next level, which I kind of hate that phrase, I'm trying to get to the next level. Like, what the heck does that mean? That's fluffy and fictitious. I have no idea. But let's say you're trying to make more money. That's more concrete. Just know that those are two things that are going to pop up. Business flaw, personal flaw. And just watch for them. And don't be ashamed when they pop up, because they're going to. Every single time, they always do. That happens to us every time. And so just know that it's going to, and expect them. And when they pop up, it's like this, you got to think of it like you're in the ring with this thing. You're in the octagon, and as soon as it pops up, boom, I'm going to hit it. I'm going to solve it. And as fast as I can get it done, that's as fast as I'll be able to be successful with this. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful. Viral video launch was a huge success. Totally amazing. Rock star of the entire event was definitely Dave Woodward. That guy just freaking killed it. Oh my gosh. I can't believe everything he did for that. Anyway, if you don't have your own cookbook, I'd go get it too. It tells you like, hey, you trying to get leads or sale? Trying to get leads or money? Cool. Well, you're trying to get that? Cool. Well, don't worry about these funnels. Oh, what industry are you in? This or this? Okay, well then I wouldn't worry about these funnels. It narrows down which funnels are best for your scenario that we've proven. So anyway, I think you'd like it. All right, guys. I will talk to you all later. And have a good one, guys.
Thanks for listening to Sales Funnel Radio. Please remember to subscribe and leave feedback. Want to get one of today's best internet sales funnel for free? Go to salesfunnelbroker.com/free funnels to download your pre-built sales funnel today.